Zabihullah Barakzai served as an advisor to the Independent Election Commission of the country. He's organized training sessions on governance, democracy, election legislation, and women's advocacy, as well as others. He joins me now in the studio. Good to have you on the show. I think one of the main questions that everyone around the world is wondering is, when did the Taliban announce their new government, and what's it going to look like?
The thing is, everybody is talking about broad-based government. Even the Taliban are saying that we are going to establish a broad-based government. But the definition of broad-based differs between different stakeholders. The previous warlords and corrupt officials, they see it as if the Taliban share power with them, it will be considered as broad-based government. For the Taliban, if they introduce a government which is comprised of Taliban with different ethnic backgrounds, that's a broad-based. For international community, the Taliban clearly said that at the top leadership, like for ministerial positions, there won't be women. I hope there are, and they changed their mind. But for majority silent people of Afghanistan and also international community, a broad-based government means that government which is comprised of clean, not corrupt professionals who are educated, because Afghanistan is not Afghanistan of 20 years back. If you don't have experts and professionals, you cannot run the country. Like Ministry of Telecommunication, you need to be an expert to run that. Ministry of Health, and for example, Kabul airport is a good example that they cannot control the air traffic of Afghanistan. So they definitely need professionals, but let's see that how they will form it.
Are you confident that this group, the Taliban, will be able to sort of transform its identity from a fighting group into one that can govern?
It's about their survival. If they don't go to the right direction, they cannot survive in Afghanistan. As I said, Afghanistan, it's like the institutions. This is not the Afghanistan that they came first time in power in 1996, where they came on ruins of Kabul. There were no institution, and before them there was dysfunctional Mujahideen government who were fighting between each other, and the only thing that Afghan people needed at that time was security, and Taliban were providing security. Now the situation is different. Security is not everything that people need. We had 300,000 security forces that they lost their jobs, and millions of civil servants. If they don't provide them salaries, then they cannot survive simply.
What happens then?
The Daesh, the ISIS is on the corner, and there is enough human capital to be recruited. If the Taliban cannot, like only 300,000 security forces, if they are left, majority of them, some of them fight because for some values, but majority of them fighting for salary. So if they are left behind, if they are not integrated, and if there is another opportunity for them, definitely they will join.
Okay, one quick question. One of your training sessions deals with women's advocacy. How do you see the next chapter of the country in terms of women's rights?
The thing is, the current era of women is different than 20 years ago. The second day after the Taliban took over Kabul, 5 girls, they organized a demonstration in Kabul. Today they had another demonstration in Herat province, and they were demanding their basic rights, like right to education, to work, these kind of things. So I'm optimist that the Taliban have to, even if they don't want, they have to soften their stance as before.
And we'll wait and see. All right, Zabihullah Barakzai, thank you very much for joining us here on set.
Thank you.